sometimes you got to learn how to read the room. Sometimes you have to learn how to read the room and observe what the hell is going on. You also have to have a level of self-awareness of, hey, we're clearly not that good at our damn jobs. This thing does not stop at Stephanie White, Briann January getting crashed out on because you deserve it. Don't you ever.
Body language does not lie. What we just witnessed on the Indiana Fever bench is a team reaching a boiling point in real time. That is not just standard coaching. That is visible, high-stakes friction on a baseline level. When a generational athlete like Caitlin Clark has to completely disconnect from her staff mid-game, a clear line has been crossed. So what exactly caused this relationship to shatter so publicly? The internal dynamics brewing inside this organization point to a fundamental disconnect between a superstar player and a coaching staff that seems entirely out of its depth.
As these coaches keep trying to sabotage her. You know, we've seen the sabotage from Stephanie White directly. Okay, we see what's going down with Amber Cox and Kelly Crosskoff. They are trying to promote the Indiana Fever as Apple, and they're not even using Caitlin Clark in any of the marketing campaigns and all of this stuff. And you see the ticket sales dropping like flies. They giving out banana splits, free oil changes, free car washes, and a Home Depot repair kit, just to get people to come out to these damn games.
The breakdown on the court is directly tied to structural issues within the front office. When marketing strategies fail to align with the active roster, the financial impact is immediate. Ticket sales metrics don't lie, and the sudden shift toward aggressive promotional giveaways reveals deep panic within the franchise's business operations. This disconnect isn't happening in a vacuum. Head coach Stephanie White and assistant coach Briann January arrived from the Connecticut Sun with a specific tactical philosophy. But trying to force a high-tempo offensive weapon into a rigid, slow-paced system is creating immediate operational failure.
Yeah, man. I don't know. First of all, Briann January, you ain't done enough to be talking to Caitlin Clark. As far as I'm concerned, you can go. You can go. That lady right there in the middle, that lady in the middle seat, she was the one that grabbed Caitlin Clark while she was trying to celebrate last year, hyping up the crowd, grabbing her, telling her to calm it down. Listen, all of y'all can pack y'all shit and go. Y'all can pack.
Let's trace this back to the origin of the conflict. The friction between the coaching staff and the roster isn't new. It has been building since last season when boundary lines were crossed during active game management. When assistants attempt to micromanage a player's on-court passion, it destroys trust. Remember this structural detail. A basketball program functions on a hierarchy of competence. When the players on the floor feel they are being strategically limited, rather than empowered, execution falls apart. This brings us to a massive tactical contradiction that the numbers simply cannot hide.
Witnesses Caitlin Clark argue with Stephanie White. Caitlin trying to communicate with the team. Look, now Stephanie White's talking to Caitlin, and Caitlin Clark just said like this: Stephanie, what are you talking?
Like, girl, beat it. You acting like you could do my job like I do my job. Like, come on, Stephanie White, take your ass over there somewhere.
She's like, Caitlin just, and then look at Stephanie White, her having a dispute. Another dispute on camera. Going to Stephanie White, trying to hear her out. And Caitlin's trying to explain to Stephanie White. Stephanie White with a rebuttal. I'm talking about right here. Right here. Stephanie White, how about you go right there? How about you go?
Yeah, right. How about you go right there and pack your shit?
Look closely at that interaction on the sideline. That is a complete breakdown in communication during a crucial phase of the game. When a lead guard is trying to establish a late-game set and the head coach responds with rigid robotic instructions, the system locks up. This isn't just an isolated dispute. It's a structural pattern. While the coaching staff struggles to optimize their schemes, their star player is forced to carry an unprecedented statistical load just to keep the team competitive. The historical data shows just how historic this individual effort really is.
Caitlin Clark is running around doing this. The most games of 20 points and 10 assists in WNBA history. Caitlin Clark, she did it in just 56 games. She has 11. Okay, it took Courtney Vandersloot 400 some games. Diana Taurasi 500 some games. Like
the data confirms the exact nature of this brilliance. Reaching 11 games with at least 20 points and 10 assists in just 56 career appearances completely alters the historical trajectory of the league. To put that in perspective, elite veterans like Courtney Vandersloot and Diana Taurasi required hundreds of games to reach those exact milestones. But here is where the story gets deeply complicated. Individual excellence can mask organizational dysfunction for only so long. When promotional materials feature other players like Raven Johnson on primary game day flyers while minimizing the league's biggest gate attraction, the business strategy becomes counterproductive.
It's just greatness, but we are seeing tainted greatness at this point. Okay, I believe Stephanie White was sent there as an agent. She's there to conduct the ruining of Caitlin Clark. Really think about it. They're running around promoting Raven Johnson on game day flyers and stuff, not Caitlin. I mean, it's ridiculous what the Indiana Fever are doing. And I think everybody needs to be fired, from the coach to the damn assistant coach, to the damn GM, to the president of basketball operations, Kelly Crosskoff. Everybody needs to be held to the fire, and they need to be fired for the misdoing.
This brings us to the ultimate reality facing the Indiana Fever organization as they navigate this high-profile season. You cannot manage a generational basketball talent with standard, legacy-style front office operations. The audience is too large, the financial stakes are too high, and the competitive window moves too fast to allow institutional stubbornness to dictate on-court results. When a franchise experiences dropping ticket metrics alongside historic individual athletic performances, it indicates a structural failure from the top down. The current leadership group, led by Kelly Krauskopf and Amber Cox, faces a critical turning point where operational accountability must take priority over established coaching relationships. If you examine the roster construction, the issues go far beyond standard team chemistry. The medical staff has faced internal scrutiny. The rotational lineups shift without analytical consistency. And the tactical sets look completely uninspired compared to the rapid-fire offense that made this roster famous in the collegiate ranks. This isn't just a tough developmental stretch for a young squad. It is a visible administrative crisis playing out in front of millions of new fans every single week. When a star athlete is forced to constantly push through tactical restrictions, the longevity of the entire project is put at risk. The broader implications for the WNBA are massive. Television ratings, corporate sponsorships, and arena gate revenues are tied directly to how this specific athlete is utilized on the floor. If the coaching staff continues to prioritize a slow-down defensive matrix over a dynamic, transition-heavy system, they aren't just losing games, they are actively suppressing the financial growth of the property. The contrast between historical production and present-day coaching execution is an unsustainable model for a professional franchise. Every single movement on that bench is being analyzed by an incredibly engaged fan base that demands immediate accountability. The days of quiet organizational rebuilds in empty arenas are officially over. If the leadership team refuses to adapt their offensive philosophies to match the unique, historic skill set of their roster, then a complete administrative overhaul becomes inevitable. You cannot force a Ferrari to drive in the mud and then blame the driver for a slow lap time. So the question now falls squarely on the front office, and it requires a definitive choice. Do you back a rigid coaching staff trying to implement an outdated tactical system, or do you clean house completely to protect the future of a generational superstar? You cannot claim both paths lead to a championship. Pick a side in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and let me know exactly who needs to be held accountable first.